about the exemptions for healthcare workers?
We want to protect our healthcare workers, and that's one of the other reasons we're doing this. Yes, John?
Well, Mr. President, I wanted to ask you about Rick Bright. He's the head of the federal agency in charge of getting a vaccine out to Americans once it's ready. He says he has been pushed out of his job because he raised questions about hydroxychloroquine and some of your directives on that. Was he pushed out of that job?
I never heard of him. You just mentioned a name. I never heard of him. When did this happen?
This happened today.
Well, I never heard of him. If the guy says he was pushed out of a job, maybe he was, maybe he wasn't. You'd have to hear the other side. I don't know who he is. Please.
And on the hydroxychloroquine...
Hold on 1 second, please.
Well, I just wanted to, you said by 4th of July you expect people will be on the National Mall and we'll be having a celebration like we did last year. Given what the doctors are just saying that, coronavirus is still going to be out there, it might not be as bad as it is now, but it's still going to be circulating. Is that going to be safe to have that many people in the mall?
We're going to probably have 25% of what we had last year. Last year, as you know, was maxed out. I saw a magnificent picture of Dr. Martin Luther King, and I saw a magnificent picture of our event last year, and both of them were maxed out. It was beautiful to see, beautiful, very similar. This year, most likely, we'll be standing 6 feet apart. We'll have to do that in a very, very interesting way, and maybe we'll even do it greater, so we'll leave a little extra distance. But if we do that, we'd certainly do that. I don't see maybe the purpose if we can't do that. We have to have people, thousands. We had tens of thousands. Most of you were there. Tens of thousands of people last year. It was incredible. And it was, to an extent, an air show of all the different aircraft flying over. We even had Air Force One flying over. So ideally, it would be wonderful if we could actually have it as it was last year. And eventually we will have that. I think it's important to know, eventually we are going to have that. Your stadiums are going to be the way they've been for the last 100 years. No, I know, but your stadiums, as an example, sports, going to be the way they used to be. I mean, I told one of the owners, he said, do you think I should take out seats? I said, no, you shouldn't take out seats. We're going to have it the way it was. We're going to be back. This virus will eventually be gone. And if it should show up in the fall, we're going to put it out very fast. We have great people. We're going to put it out very fast because we've learned a lot. We've learned a lot about how to deal with this, and we'll put it out very fast. Yeah, please. Just nice and easy.
You talk a lot about testing capacity, and governors agree that that exists, but it's very different from testing implementation. And they are still begging for you to use your full authority to help them get reagents and other things. As you would like to say, what do you have to lose by helping them do that and becoming the king of testing?
And let me just say, we are the king of testing already. There's no country in the world that's done more. Not even
0.2% of the population has been tested. Is that good enough?
I just said there's no country in the world that's done more. And we have tests that have already come out that are going to be introduced very shortly that will do it more. My problem is this: it's very much of a media trap. Whether we did 2%, 5%, 50% or 100%, it'll never be enough, no matter what.
2%.
Now, with the expertise and with what we did, because of our expertise and tremendous talent at manufacturing, what we did with the ventilators, that wasn't a trap because we got them done, shockingly to everybody, because of the incredible talent like Mike Pence saw yesterday in Wisconsin. But we have numerous of those sites all over the country doing the same thing. So that when the governors were complaining, some of the governors, I must say, and it was very much along party lines for the most part, but except for one, when the governors were complaining, we said, no, how many do you need? We need 50, we need 100. One governor asked for many, many, many thousands, and it turned out they didn't need that, and that's good. We got them, and nobody that needed a ventilator, you know this, and we went through this with the governors, that needed a ventilator didn't get a ventilator. That was an incredible achievement. With testing, it's a little different. It's much easier than ventilators. It's like 2%. But, for instance, the swabs are coming in by the millions. They're coming in, literally coming in by the millions. Totally ordered. We wanted the highest quality. We could have gotten a much lesser quality. We didn't want to do that. We got the highest quality. But testing, it's like no matter how well you do, you can always say more. With the ventilators, they either have them or they don't. In fact, we went to one meeting. Who wants a ventilator? One governor said, we'd like 25. 25, you got them. Who else? Nobody spoke up. That was 4 weeks ago. So that was great. The problem with the testing is, and I said, if we test 350 million people, you'll say, no, we want them to have a second test or a third test or a fourth test. Not everybody believes as strongly as some people in testing. Some people want to do testing because they think it's impossible for us to fulfill that goal. That's easy compared to ventilators, as I've said. But we have a tremendous testing capability, better than anybody in the world right now. And every day it's growing, and it's growing very substantially. These doctors are very talented people. They've seen testing all their lives. They've never seen anything like we've been able to do. So we're going to give everybody what they want with the testing. But again, testing, and I've said it from the beginning, the actual test has to be administered locally. You can't do from Washington or faraway locations federal testing nearly as well as you can where you have a governor and he has mayors and they have representatives and they know the back of a Walmart. Put it in the parking lot in the back of a Walmart, or put it in a certain location in different states. They're doing it beautifully. It's working beautifully. The relationship I have with the governors, and Mike has, and we all have with the governors, I would say other than one or two, but even them, they don't complain. They're not complaining. So we're doing tremendous testing, and ultimately we're doing more testing, I think, than probably any of the governors even want. Okay, please, Jennifer.